welcome to another episode of Caribbean Kurrent, a series where we spark conversation in our community, especially around the topics on culture and music. So today we have a very special topic. It's something we don't necessarily talk about all the time, but it's a very fundamental piece of our carnival experience. All of us have to banter right now, carnival lovers, because now would have been the time we'd be enjoying Trinidad Carnival, etc. But you know, COVID. But that aside, we just wanted to have some conversations and keep shining a light on the culture because it's important, right? So my name is Marissa, founder of To Be Caribbean. We also have
Trissa.
Yeah. So Trissa is going to be my co-host for today with our two very special guests. We have Ramona Condell, who is is part of a team, right, of costume designers for Mass with Panache. I got that right?
Correct. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then we have Mr. Alan Simpson, who is a veteran mass man doing this thing since he's a baby. And you've been involved with a few bands, I'm sure. So welcome. And thank you for agreeing to participate in this. So yeah, we're gonna kick it off. Of course. We're gonna kick it off. As we said, we're talking about wire bending. It's something that's integral to your carnival experience. The wire bras, the backpacks, wire bending makes that happen, right? But for some people, even putting it in context of wire bras, they don't know what it is. So Alan, if you were describing wire bending to a stranger completely new to carnival, how would you describe it?
Well, the wire bending in this age is new. Wire bending, I'll bring a little history and come forward with what your question.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day when I was in Trinidad as a youth growing up, where we do wire bending as making fruits, wire fruits, paper, different anything we could do with wire, bird, animals. We used to do all that with wire, paper. Now it's in a stage right now that we use it for the headpiece, for backpacks, and for the bras. Long ago it wasn't like that. Long ago it was just animals making 3D things with the wire. Okay, so now we concentrate on it. It comes to a backpack. The mass modern day mass is now a backpack, headpiece, and the bras. The wire bra in particular is the bra, what you do with a wire, make it out of wire frame, and then you could decorate it as you want.
Okay.
Right.
That's good to know the history. I didn't know that part about making it fruits and animals. I get that right?
It was animals. Yeah, it was animals. You bend your animals or your fruits.
Okay.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah. No. Then you paper it and then you decorate it. Make it look like a real animal or a real fruit. Nice. And I must mention this guy. He's the father of wire bending in Trinidad, Cito Velasquez. Cito Velasquez. If you Google him, you'll get his history. He's the man, with all the other mass men who did wire bending came through him.
Okay. That's good to know, man. The history and the founding fathers.
Yeah, and I did a class with him in wire bending too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Ramona, having understood the history of wire bending and where the importance that it plays today, can you tell us a little bit more about how critical wire bending is to what you do, the final product, the backpacks, and in terms of the quality of the wire bending technique and skill? Can you share a little bit with us about that?
Yeah, of course. So, as Marissa said, I'm a designer, right? So my end goal is for a costume to look pretty, for a masquerader to be adorned from sometime above our head to our toe.
Right.
But at the base of my design is a structure, and that's the wire.
Right.
It is just as, if not more important than the part that I add to a costume. If the base is not done properly, the costume falls apart.
Right.
So for me, I am directly dependent on the quality of the wire itself, the technique of the wire bender to do a product that is sturdy and comfortable
And
well
comfortable,
fitted.
yes.
You know, I mean, because if it's okay if I make something pretty that's not comfortable for the masquerader, no, I failed.
Yeah.
You know, so
Customer
they can't wear the
satisfaction.
costume. Absolutely, the masquerader, the comfort and wearability of the costume is the ultimate goal, right? There's no point in it being pretty and not useful. Right? So, and you want the costume to be able to withstand the day on the road. So, both in terms of the comforts, you know, the bra has to be comfortable. It's a woman's body, you know, so the bra has to be comfortable. The backpack, the more I do to it, the heavier it becomes. And so you need somebody who understands the curvature of everything. And so we depend on the wire benders to give us something that's wearable. That's really what it is. And that will, like I said, withstand the day on the road. So withstand meaning the person should be able to wear it, and it will also hold up to the elements and to the bacchanal.
Jamming.
Yeah, everything. You know, because costumes, as we know, are not cheap, right? So people, I mean, you have different kinds of masqueraders, but people want to see what they paid for at the end of the day after having a good time. They still want it to be in pretty good shape. So it's important to have a good wire person.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, thank you for that, because I definitely see the energy and the passion and the dedication that it takes, like you said, to make that comfortable end product that you are proud of wearing, that you're happy to wear, that you want to, you know, you had a good experience, right? And coming back is the feathers and everything, that's great, but through this conversation, I'm hearing, you know, how important it is to have that good structure. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's important when I'm looking for who to source that part of the costume from. You have to use somebody who's reliable, and as far as the product they're giving you, you know. So, because my entire integrity depends on that.
Right. Exactly.
True. And your brand.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I want to push on that a little bit and ask from your perspective, Alan, in terms of it sounds like you need a lot of skill and understanding of a woman's body, or just of costumes in general, to produce something that's quality. So for you now, as a wire bender, like, how did you get this experience so that you could do those things, like create a quality product? Like, how long have you been a wire bender? Like, how did you acquire the skills? Anything you could share on that?
Well, I've been making masks since I was a teenager in San Grande, Trinidad. And you have to have a love for it, and going through the different stages, and because there are a lot of aspects to making a costume. And wire bending is, you have to have a love to do that. It's not an easy thing to just come on board, and it's experience really. As Ramona was saying, to comfort, and you have to make it in such a way that you could decorate it as well. Because after you make that, you have to decorate it, and then there's another process. Right. But I've been doing this long time, I mean many years, and then I'll see the different transformations of the costume, as I said, from fruits and animals into backpacks. Now, long ago we used to use masking tape. Now everything is welded or soldered. Okay. Yeah, so that in itself, kind of make it sturdy. In welding or soldering the wire. Yeah, because long ago it was masking tape, and when rain fall, that masking tape could get where that it could easily destroyed while you're parading.
Right, which will not be cool. Got it. So to make a backpack will take you like how long? So?
Well, it depends on the design. Depends on the design, right? Most times, I find here in Georgia, you don't ever get straight wire. You get wires in rolls, so you have to straighten that out before you can start doing the form. And that's one thing I find here. We have to, if I need wire, I have to go to call New York to send wire for me. The kind of wire you really need. But let me just take you back to Trinidad. How we started with wire, what we used to do for wire. If you're familiar with the electric wire, the high tension wire on the poles, that wire is the wire we used to use. Wow. Because there's a main wire in the middle of that, and then there are 5 strands of wire wrapped around that. So we used to take off that 5 strands, straighten it, and then make your whatever form you want.
Wow.
You need to go and buy wire. We used to buy TNTech, go TNTech, get a piece, get the wire, and strip it and form your costume, make your frames out of that. Here now, we see that we get wire, as I say, you import the wire, and it is easy. The first thing you do, you make the design. You have to do a first design, then you draw it out on a sheet of ply. Let's take example, doing wings. You draw your wing on a sheet of ply, 8x4 ply. You put nails along the lines of that drawing you made on the plywood. You follow me?
Yeah.
Right? So then now you take your straightened wire and you just pull it around the nails.
Okay.
Boom, that is one costume there.
What? All right. Who knew?
Who knew?
Okay. Alan, you need to teach a class, man. Post-COVID.
I know. Wire bending 101.
One of the questions I saw you have here is how long it will take to make 100 backpacks. But that is the secret.
Okay. Interesting.
And you realize now that factories are making the thing and selling them rather than people in mass camps making it. Now you have people who making them and you order it. You order what you want.
Right.
You know, so that everything gets, industrialized now.
Yep.
You could buy running online and buy your wings or your headpieces, your bras, whatever you want now.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Wow. Who knew the first sets of wire bending starting with TNT electrical wire? That's
right.
something interesting.
Yeah.
You learn something new every day, right? So definitely, Ramona, what would you say is the evolution of wire bending for you and costume design? I know Alan mentioned, you started using wire. Now you can pretty much order. What do you see as the next step in terms of keeping that high quality, high flexibility? We know everything that's mass produced cannot really meet that customization that we've become accustomed to as masqueraders, to be honest, right? If something don't fit right, you want it to.
Yeah. Night before Carnival, phone blowing up. Like, I want this.
Right.
The feather too short. The feather too.
So
then I call Alan for help.
For real.
Of course.
Alan. If it's kind of a week and Mr. Simpson's phone ringing is Ramona, I don't even know what his face looks like. But
it's all
me
good,
on this one, right?
But yeah, so the question is kind of, just my thoughts on the evolution of wire bending. Up until now and further on. I mean, and as Alan said, a lot of mass production is happening, so there's a little bit of a disconnect between the true art form and the true design, and we're kind of seeing that happen as things become mass produced. And as Trista said, you lose a little bit of the intimacy, the personalization, which is part of our true carnival culture, is that things are custom made and things are designed from somebody's heart, from somebody's belly,
creative.
So as things become more commercialized, there is a little bit of a disconnect between kind of the true artistry, and it's kind of like you can look through somebody's catalog and order a wire, as Alan said. So the challenge to kind of keep the art form alive is upon us. And I think the challenge probably starts with the designers, For me, I still try to present a design. I still draw something, and I don't draw it on plywood because that is for the wire bender to do. But I know what I want it to look like. When I design, I have the vision in my mind. and I present that to the person providing the wire for me. So it starts with us to really challenge ourselves as the designers to ask the wire benders to help us create something. You know what I mean? Because if we don't challenge ourselves, it will just become this kind of what I call this fashion show style carnival, which is, everything is pretty, but it loses the essence of the culture a little bit. And I welcome people of all reasons and creeds, and anybody that wants to come and jump up, that's fine. But we know there's a little bit of loss of the culture when that starts to happen more than other things,
Right.
So to keep the wire bending, the art form, to keep that growing and to make sure the wire benders themselves have things to make, new things for them to sit down and nail and plywood and then mark out something. For them to keep doing that, we have to want it from them.
Right.
And so I think the challenge is just to continue to be innovative, because we can't afford for the catalog style to become
right.
Yeah.
But
so you're creating the demand for the wire bending.
Absolutely. We're getting to a point now where kind of all the backpacks kind of all look the same.
Right. Yep.
I don't know if you guys finding that when I see designs, and they're not pretty. Once you stick the right feathers on, it will be like, wow, that's really nice. But the shapes kind of all look the same.
Right. I love what you call it, a fashion show, because that's what it's becoming.
That's what it is. What it is. I have to go on a diet because it's carnival.
Right.
my body has never kept me from carnival, right? So that's what I'm here. But the fashion show.
What I have to do with anything? No.
Yeah. We want to keep it fresh. We want to keep innovating. That's what's going to help us as the artisans behind the scenes continue to grow.
Right. I love that. So, okay, I guess to wrap it up. So, Alan, Ramona was talking about designers creating the demand, which we know is an essential part of keeping the culture alive and the art form alive. From your perspective as a wire bender, how can the wire benders themselves shine a light on the work that they do so people are aware of their role in the carnival experience?
Well, for one thing, I find here it is difficult for the wire bender here in terms that you don't get the space you need.
Okay.
Bending, because if you have to do 100, 150 frames, you have to hang that up somewhere. And most time, Ramona will know that most time we're in a garage, in somebody's living room or in a kitchen, trying to do that. So it's very hard on a wire bender because you don't just do 1 or 2 or 3 pieces.
Right.
You do 100, now is 200, 500 and things like that. So we have to challenge in that way. Another challenge we have, and I see is coming, is that a lot of the wire, more fiberglass and plastics come into play now. Rather than the wire, you're losing that wire. Eventually, more plastics and fiberglass will be making these foams.
True.
Interesting. Okay.
So just like everything else, everything is evolving.
Right.
So
we have to progress as things grow. Yeah. I hear you. I loved it. I know we could talk about this whole night, but I know, unfortunately we've come to the close. Really, really appreciate your insights about just the art of wire bending. It's something that I've known about but never really explored. So this was a lot of great information from you, Alan, as a wire bender, and then how it translates to actual costume, Ramona, on your side. So thank you so much for the information. This was another episode of Caribbean Kurrent, where we spark conversation about music and culture in the Caribbean community. Today we had a highlight on wire bending for the carnival experience, for the carnival lovers, understand the art form, so it's not a fashion show, as Ramona said. My name is Marissa, founder of To Be Caribbean, and my co-host was Trissa. And keep it locked for another
Give
episode
the
of
simple,
Caribbean
easy Trissa.
All right, have a good one.
Well, thank you for having us. Thank you so much, Marissa and Trissa. Alan, big up yourself.
Thank you guys. This was great.
Anytime.